Adopting a comfortable posture, whether that's on a yoga seat or a chair. And find yourself aligning your spine up to the sky, nice and tall, extending the cervical part of your spine. Which causes the chin to just gently tuck in. Nestle your tongue into the gums behind the teeth. And the first part of the meditation is just about preparing your posture, aligning your posture for the duration of the sitting. And relax into the posture. Feel comfortable in your position. No particular mudra needed, no particular breathing pattern needed. Just relax into the breath. And when you hear the sound of the bells, a commitment is made for the duration of the sitting to be completely still in your posture. But in that stillness, don't lose the integrity of your posture. So when the bells ring, you may find that your nervous system in your body kind of may slightly tense up a little bit because it's now become still. But just relax into the stillness. It's not a stiff stillness. And allow your body, your nervous system, to receive the stillness. The key to the ZaZen still sitting is, as stated before, to receive the stillness. So you've aligned your posture. You've relaxed into it. It's not a difficult posture. I always akin it to the analogy or metaphor of At the end of the day, when you come and sit in your favorite armchair, in that moment when you sit in the chair and the day is done in a way and you feel all your body relax and there's a sense of coming home, coming back into yourself. The difference being here that it's the beginning of the day. And what naturally happens as you relax is that your attention starts to, with the alignment of gravity, starts to descend into your belly, into what I call the pelvic bowl. And it's not forced. It's almost like a falling feather, just gently, like a ticking clock, kind of falls down into the belly. So you can tune into that force of gravity, which whenever you do a meditation, gravity works on us anyway. If you're holding a particular posture or mudra, you find for a longer period of time of a meditation like that, everything starts to sink and you have to push the posture back up. Well, here we're just allowing ourselves to surrender to gravity. But the simple alignment of the spine and its integrity is not lost. And if you're new to this, still sitting, the mind may be creating a little bit of noise right now. The only reason being that it is not used to this stillness that is starting to permeate into your nervous system, into the body. It may be used to it at the moment of going to sleep and it's willing to shut down. But here we're shutting down naturally closing down the noise of the mind by allowing the attention to come into the belly. And in a way, the attention is moving through the brain itself, from the outside of the brain of thought, then through the middle brain, the limbic brain, through emotions, finally into the base of the brain, the top of the spinal cord, the brain of being. And here, in these sit-ins, mind is described as anything that moves or is a phenomenal sensation. So any feelings you have in the body, any movement of thought is mind. And it's important to understand that we don't have a desire to stop that. That is the most common mistake to make in meditation, is the desire to stop the mind. It can be done, but it takes a lot of effort and is unsustainable, because the mind will always come back. As long as we are breathing as human beings, the mind will be here, moving, expressing. So be wise. And find the stillness of being. There's so many times in our lives when we may be somewhere in a busy restaurant or in a car, anywhere where there's movement, and we've sat, everything around us has no effect upon us. So bringing the attention into the belly and residing, abiding as being means you can let the mind do what it wants. Who cares? Let it make as much noise as possible. The key, the ultimate key to residing or resting as being is to relinquish the control of your breath. Have the courage to just let your breath breathe all by itself. And marry this surrendering of control of the breath to the sense of deep listening. So you're not just watching the breath first, you're actually listening to it. And not as a sound, but as a movement. Be fascinated by it. Be in awe of it. When you really look at it deeply, it's the only, truly the only reliable thing in your life. That is there from the beginning, when you were born, to the moment when you leave this planet. Without fail, it is there. Through all the moments of joy and happiness, and all the moments of pain, suffering, and trauma. And in each one of those examples of human experience, the breath would have changed to align to what the nervous system was expressing in that moment. But right now, in this sitting, you are devoted to it. Become the devotee to your breath. Trust it and let it lead you. Remain still. Rest the attention in the belly. and listen to the breath as it leads you. And the paradox of it all is that it doesn't lead you anywhere. Just allows the resting as awareness. If there was a purpose of meditation, then it is to just simply allow everything to be as it is. The removal of the mind's desire to change what is arising in the moment. For if there was no desire to change with whatever is arising, that desireless space is the core of happiness. When there is no desires, then there is a space for happiness, natural happiness, to express itself. And it might sound a paradox to say that someone is happy when an experience of suffering arises. But that is the paradox of life. It's the allowance, the acceptance of something that arises that could take you into a shape of suffering. But at the core of you, there's no desire to change it. You're just allowing it to be. And let's be clear here, we're not burying it, not pushing it away. Just allowing whatever arises in the body-mind to have space. Whilst remaining and resting as awareness. And the subtle cues or subtle techniques of remain still. Rest your attention in the belly. Surrender the breath and be led into natural awareness whilst deeply listening. To add more than that is too much. And like in any spiritual practice, it is a japa. This subtle process or subtle technique has to be applied again and again and again and again. To to the point that it becomes second nature. And that is why it's so important to engage in something like ZaZen every morning. May all beings be happy. May all beings live in peace. May all beings be free.